Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. I know I am, and I'm so excited to be with you today for our third day of the workshop. So you should have received the template and the instruction throughout the third email for your sequence, the one where you mention your offer. I know this one is very special. We always feel good about sharing value for free, but when the time comes to talk about our project, most people don't feel comfortable and think they are being spammy. But rest assured, if you work right on who you are talking to, if your list is segmented properly and your leads are qualified, they should be waiting for your offer at some point. And that's the goal of this whole email sequence. Remember, priming your list, building a relationship equity with your leads, and then talking about your offer, of course. Now, you should feel 200% confident about your offer before launching it. You want to make sure your customers are happy once they purchase from you. So today, we're going to talk about how to build an irresistible offer. I know you've probably heard this word irresistible so many times, but I'm not talking about some fancy offer or magic trick to make it irresistible. There are actually some essential elements to use and a way to do it. So let's get right into it. So now we want to look at defining the offer. Like, what is the offer that we are wanting to put in front of these people? And so what we want to do, and we talked about a little bit about this, is define what the outcome is first. So, okay, let me come back to this. Okay. Okay, so the contact on your list buying a project by himself. So it's an autonomous sale. Now, obviously, we need certain assets that we are going to go through in one of the steps here when it comes to what you need to actually set up. But obviously, if somebody is buying a project, then we're going to need an order form, okay? We're going to need a checkout process. We're going to need something to take payment for the project. So there is an example of an order form that we have. We're getting billing information. We're telling them that they're buying here the Magnetic Business Academy course and what they get, so on and so forth. They're buying that on their own, okay? Now, the second option is that we're driving them to schedule a sales conversation with us. Are there any of you who use call to generate sales? That's mostly used for high tickets. So I guess Richard is using calls to generate sales, like even meeting in person to make the sale. Tell me in the comments. Let me check everything is right. I can see your comments. Okay. Now, I just want to make sure you're doing this in step 2 in the file you have, defining the offer. The file is in the file section in the group, so download it if you haven't done it already. We used it yesterday. We're just in the second step of this file. So option 1 is sell an online project. Option 2, schedule a call. Now, the first thing we want to think about is naming the offer. So we want to determine the project and the value. What do they actually get for taking action right now versus at some point in the future? And we want to start considering some bonuses to make this irresistible too. So that's got to be a compelling reason why they would act today versus at some point in the future, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways to do that, and I'm sure you may know to create urgency and scarcity. 2 proven methods of influencing somebody to do something. But the other thing is some degree of reciprocity. Like you are giving something for free, but that has a value associated to it. And of course, you want to add scarcity. So the scarcity is a deadline, like the end point of the campaign, right? And so this will add pressure, but I mean it's positive pressure. for them to take action and claim your offer before the deadline. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of advice around the name of it. And you will see on the checklist it says name it. Well, we have found that the best campaigns have always been themed. So if you can have a theme around your offer, that's great. To give you an example, you could use a theme around spring or Easter that's coming. But it doesn't have to be related to time. You could also choose a theme that would speak to your audience, like maybe a movie that they could relate to, for example. And then all your emails would be written around that theme. Though, if you can add a little bit of design too, that's great. And it doesn't have to be fancy, really. Just choose the color that fits. So when you put these campaigns together, name it, but also consider theming it as well. And really, it's powerful if you do it right. And I'd also consider just brainstorming a few different themes that you could put around this as well. Now, this would be great. But again, if you're just starting out, just focus on the essential. You can always improve your campaign as you grow your business. So we also want to consider what is the start date. When are we actually getting the party started? Now, this will be in line with your execution cycle of when you're launching the project. If you're shipping a project, detail like this. And then you want to define the deadline date. Having a start and end date is very important so that people understand the benefit of acting now. Now, the deadline date is the offer expiry of when this is going to be over. And that is going to depend upon your business, okay? When you want to put this deadline in, it will be different for everybody. My suggestion would be that it probably be around 7-day deadline, okay? Because you need to send primer content first to build value. Then you need to put them into the converter sequence as well. And the problem is, and this twists people's minds sometimes, and I totally understand, the problem is that not everybody is going to open the emails and click and engage with the primer sequence. So sometimes, if they open the email a week after or 3 days after that, they could be past the expiry date. I could tell you something about an advanced way of getting around this, where we set a dynamic deadline date, okay? We would dynamically set a deadline date in the future based upon that interaction with the campaign of them clicking a link. But that is for another time. Right now, we are going to send this email campaign here with a specific deadline. Okay, now I want to talk about the value stack. Now again, a lot of people believe that the value stack is the thing that is only reserved for selling projects. See, what we want to think of is what are the bonuses that we can give. We can give a value to a call, we can give a value to a fast action guide, we can give a value to an audit, you can give a value to anything like that, okay? It's better to find things that have real world value that you can give away for free. So for example, if you have sold a tripwire in the past for $7, $19, $20 or whatever dollars, if you could give them that away for free as part of the offer, that's great, because that's real value. Don't make things up for value's sake, actually. Give them the value that's real, okay? Otherwise, you're not being really authentic, and this doesn't go down that well, really. Now, this value stack is for an offer I do regularly. Let me show you. So, there you go. You can see it here. This is the offer, all the content inside the course. This is the bonus. And there at the end, also a bonus, scarcity with the deadline. And there you have the value stack. This is an offer I do regularly. This is for For some of you who have been on my list, you know this. So $6,200 worth of value. And it was because I've actually been selling these things individually as part of my consulting. That's the difference. You've actually got to sell these things individually and make it real. Now, I gave them this, plus I gave them these fast action bonuses as well that you just saw in the when the slide went through. You're going to see it. I just showed you the bonuses too, so they got the bonuses as well. This was the value. And then at the end, you'll see this is the bonus, and then at the end you have the usual price. Okay, so we showed them value and actually what it would be as an investment if they bought it, okay? And then I said, but today you can get it for a few $100s. Okay, now on your checklist, you have 3 bonuses, fast action bonuses that you should complete. I would encourage you not to limit yourself to just the 3. I think that you could potentially put 5, 6, 7 if you need to do that. Having the value stack is critical. So what we want to do now is we want to define the offer and we want to look at what they're going to get. What are the fast action bonuses? What's the value stack, and decide the start and expiration date. Now, so go ahead, take action, do that right now, and also if you have any question, I will be reading the comments. So tell me, are there any questions on what we have? While you guys fill that in on the checklist, most of the times when we're live, that's when the ideas start flowing. So write them down. You can also write them in the comments so that I can read them, even if it's after the live. I'll take some time to read everything and give you feedback. Okay. Good. So the final step that we're going to go into is organizing our offer assets. Okay, so let's talk about what we need. We need an offer page, something that's going to clearly articulate the offer that we've created. We actually need to put this down and put it somewhere and send people to it so they can take the action that we want them to. And so we want to outline what it is, why they should buy it now, how long they have to buy it, and the next steps that they need to take as concisely and as simply as possible. Now, most people, you know, when they do this, I've seen so many bad examples of this. This is literally all you need to do. But instead, they complicate it and the copy doesn't really talk directly to their audience. So this part is so important if you want to convert leads into customers that I thought I really had to talk about this today. So we really want to be very clear with them over what the offer is, how it can help them, what it's about, and what they need to do next. Very simply. And obviously, we have the order form or the actual sales page itself as well, where they can either buy the offer or schedule a call or meeting. If like Richard in the group, I guess you need to have a meeting with someone in order to make a sale, like set an appointment to visit the house. And then we have the page that they go to after they bought or they've scheduled. That's the thank you page, okay? Simple page. Congratulating them on taking decisive action on this offer. That's what we are going to tell them. Tell them what to expect next. And if they buy something that they may be waiting for delivery on, then of course we want to tell them on that page, not just in an email, what to expect. So now let's talk about the elements and the components that go into an offer page. Bear in mind, an offer page is apparent whether you are selling something or you're getting them to schedule something on your calendar, okay? It's apparent because you've got to be able to put across those bonuses. You've got to put across what the type of offer is, etc., etc. So we can break this down. There you go. So this is the anatomy of an offer page. So let's scroll and then we can go back. Let's go back to the top so that you can see everything. So we have an attention-grabbing headline, clear call to action. Of course, this is a page from my website. This is an offer page from my projects. So I'm just showing you. And on top half of the fold page, where we tell them the benefits, here you have the benefits of the offer. This is what it looks like. So our deadline, an expiry date, an expiry timer, and benefits. You have the expiry timer, you have the call to action, and the timer. So we want to write a compelling headline that details the prospect after state immediately. Here you have it. Okay, so your prospects, your leads, they have a before and they have an after. An effective and good copywriting should be able to articulate that transformation from before to after. So this is what they are getting at. Intimate access to premium education, training, resources, tools, and templates. The testimonial that you can see here is the before and after. You see how important it is to clearly identify your prospects' pain points so that you can tell them how you're going to help them and how they will feel once they have worked with you. Now, if you're just getting started, you can use your own story, of course. Share your before and after. So we also add a countdown timer, and now you already have the deadline of your offer in your checklist. So we can add a countdown timer to this page. Of course, regarding the tools to be able to do this, you could use something that's completely free. You can get a countdown timer to do this and add it to the page, or you could use something maybe like that deadline funnel if you're familiar with it. And nowadays, really, you can easily create landing pages with most email providers. There's lots of different tools that allow you to set a deadline to the page. So what you want to do is actually giving the benefit behind what the actual feature is. So let's go on. Okay, feature benefits. Okay, there you go. Feature benefits. And if you want to go one step further, you can actually do feature benefit, benefit of the benefit in the bullet. Are you with me? Okay. Okay, so you see, this is all about benefits. I'm not talking about feature here. Features come way down in the page. We are just talking about benefits right here. Okay, so we've covered so far the attention-grabbing headline, the countdown timer, the bullet benefits, and now we're moving down. You'll notice we have another call to action. So this is who I am. And there are calls to action throughout the page, everywhere. We have the call to action above the deadline, and we have the call to action throughout the page for them to take action. So we have testimonials to show proof and build trust. People want to hear from people just like them, of how they have been transformed as a result of working with you, all the problems that you've solved. Clear call to actions, and further down, another countdown timer on that page, at the top and also at the bottom of the page. Okay, so you can see exactly what the elements are here that you need to have on this offer page. Any questions on this? If you need it, I can definitely give you the link to this page so you can use it as a reference when you build your page. And once again, what do you build this offer page in? Well, there's many different tools. You may have ClickFunnels, you may have lead pages, ConvertKit. I mean, I could go on forever, but the point is use the tool that you already have, okay? Don't think that you have to go and buy an expensive piece of software. You can do all of this in WordPress if you want, no problem. This is actually in WordPress. So I use ConvertKit for my email sequence and for lead generation forms, but everything that you see here is built in WordPress and everything is free. Okay, so yes, actually ConvertKit, no problem. Any of the email provider, you can do it in the email providers, okay? So now I get that some of them are moderately more retarded than others to use, but don't worry about that. It's fine, just follow these components, these elements, and you should be good, okay? Now, so what if somebody clicked through and came here and didn't take action, and you're wanting to remind them again in a few days? Would you bring them back to the same page, or would you have another one? Tell me what you think. Okay, actually, same one. Just the same timer that's gone down, actually. And here's a big thing. Integrity. You really do count, like you really do expire the offer. It's not fake scarcity, okay? Because you know that relationship equity we talked about, what happens is when you let people in afterwards, you are eroding that equity from everybody else that didn't. And it's also sending a message to that person that does decide to buy, that you are training them. You're actually training them that they can buy after you try to put scarcity into the mix. So when people email us and they're like, I saw this offer and I didn't take action at the time, I wanted to buy it, I want to buy it now. The thing expired Monday. As hard as this is to swallow, don't give it to them, because you are training them the wrong way to buy from you, actually. You've got to be congruent with everything that you do and be genuine, be authentic, because there are so many people out there that just don't do it, okay? Super important that you do. And by the way, we all get it wrong from time to time. Don't worry. Like, I've got it wrong in the past. We make decisions like somebody comes in, especially with high tickets, you know, and you have to make tough decisions. But sometimes those people aren't always the best customers. You always choose your customers, okay? So you should also manage that relationship. Now, here I am. Now, the order form. We're coming to the closing part here on this. So if we're selling something to somebody, so you guys are selling something after they have obviously seen the offer page, the next page they go to is the order form. Most people do order forms pretty badly. Well, it's really simple actually to do an order form, but if you don't do it right, you don't get the results. Okay? So what we want to do is we've got some key things here. We want a headline to reaffirm the benefits they're about to receive, okay? So here you have how to attract your best customers and 10x your sales on automatic. And we have bullet benefits on the order form. Again, when things don't work for you or you've tried things like this in the past, I can absolutely guarantee it's probably because these things are missing, okay? Just because you get people to the order form doesn't mean that they're actually going to buy from you. So you want to have these bullet benefits here, and you want to repeat those benefits on the order form itself. Also, if you're selling a project, be sure to have an image of the project to emphasize the value that they're actually getting. So this is obviously a mock-up. This is not real, but it helps them visualize what it is they're getting, okay? Very much so. And testimonials at the bottom of here. Like you see what past students are saying. So you have the testimonial at the bottom of the page. This is another form that you want to model, okay? This is exactly what you want it to look like and be. And as you can see, it's not complicated, but there are key elements in there. Last thing is, don't be concerned by the fact that there are things to read on the other form. That's totally fine, okay? Because it will overcome objections at the point when they buy. I'm not a massive fan of putting videos, either testimonial videos or face-to-camera videos, on order form. You don't want me looking down the barrel at you when you're trying to make a decision, though. So just write the things, don't put videos in there, and you should be fine. So the next thing, after they have bought your project, is actually what they see. The thank you page. This is the thank you page that they get to after they have taken action. Whether they've scheduled with you or if they bought from you, first thing we want to do is congratulate them on making a great decision, okay? And tell them what to expect next and how long it will take them to receive their offer and how to get access. And also, where possible, add any support or contact information that they may need to have if they need to contact you. So here actually in the video that you see, this is a video on the thank you page. I explained to the customers, to the students, how to log into their accounts to get access immediately to the course, and if they didn't receive an email with their login credentials or if they have any problem, I give them the email address to contact me so that I can help them get started as fast as possible. So if there an email address that we want to add in there, we want to add those elements as well on the thank you page. And also because some people do something and then they're like, oh, I can't actually do that thing right now, okay? That's 3% of people, 2 to 3%. So you need to think about them and help them get to the next step and start using your project. So there you go. You have your email mentioning your offer, your irresistible offer, and the assets you need with very specific elements for people to take action. Once again, I'll be reading all the comments, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I'll see you live tomorrow at 1 p.m. to talk about setting up your sequence in your platform and testing it to make sure everything is right. Your sequence is almost ready, so go ahead, take action to make sure you get the best results and you get my feedback. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 1 p.m.